Disney, a once great company now considered by many to be an absolute laughingstock, often ridiculed for its business practices, ethics, and PR. Whether it's their former CEO, Bob Chapek, proudly proclaiming that adults don't watch cartoons, them basically making sure that Strange Worlds be an absolute flop, or simply greenlighting some absolute abominations, there is no denying that Disney is not in everybody's best light right now. However, there's also no denying Disney's legacy as one of the pioneers of the entertainment industry, especially in regards to animation. After all, Disney would release the first ever traditionally animated movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, released all the way back in 1937. Through the 40s into the 80s, Disney would continue the streak of absolutely classic animated films, with movies such as Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi, Cinderella, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, Peter Pan, Jungle Book, 101 Dalmatians, Fox the Hound, and The Little Mermaid, as well as some underrated movies such as The Rescuers, The Aristocats, and one of my personal favorite Disney films, Oliver and Company. The 90s, however, were easily the best decade for Disney and often considered the Disney Renaissance. Films such as Aladdin, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tarzan, Beauty and the Beast, and one of the greatest animated films of all time, The Lion King. It wasn't just traditional animation Disney was killing it with either. Pixar would release Toy Story, the first full-length 3D animated movie ever made. With future movies such as the rest of the Toy Story franchise, Bugs Life, Monsters Inc., Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, and Up, it's safe to say Disney was absolutely killing it with their movies. However, in recent years, Disney has definitely faltered. The last traditionally animated film ever released by the company was 2009's Princess and the Frog, and while Pixar has had a good streak of films with the more recent films such as Zootopia, Encanto, and Luca, there is no denying that the golden age of Disney has definitely passed. And then the live-action remakes came along. Now, the live-action remake of the Disney film was not actually a new thing. As a matter of fact, in 1996, a live-action version of 101 Dalmatians was released. However, in recent years, it's definitely become much more of a trend, and not exactly for the greatest reasons. While 2015's Cinderella, 2016 Jungle Book, and to a lesser extent, 2017's Beauty and the Beast were all passable, there was really no reason for them to exist, as they completely lacked any creativity and brought nothing new to the table. However, things really went downhill with 2019's The Lion King. While the film was propelled by an all-star cast including the likes of Donald Glover and Beyoncé, it was also hampered by, once again, a general lack of creativity as well as some absolutely uncanny CGI. To make it perfectly clear, here's Simba in the 1994 original watching the wildebeest stampede down from the canyon. And this is Simba in the 2019 version. Do I really need to say more there? And after that, the rest of the live-action remakes were nothing but soulless cash grabs, piggybacking off of Disney's classic films. 2019 version of Aladdin and Dumbo, while both, once again, passable, had no reason to exist whatsoever and completely lacked creativity. While Will Smith's performance as the genie was undeniably not a bad performance at all, it also just proved that Robin Williams is completely irreplaceable in that role. And unlike the first two films I mentioned, 2020's Mulan was an absolute disaster. It turned a really beloved story about a woman fighting to protect her father's honor and ultimately becoming a powerful warrior into a traditional girl boss story, turning Mulan into a bland, unlikable protagonist, as well as getting rid of one of the lead characters in the original 1998 film for one of the dumbest reasons I could think of. And the less said about the fact that the movie was filmed on grounds of human rights abuses, the better. And here we are in 2022, with the live-action version of Pinocchio being released, and considered an absolute disaster thanks to its complete lack of emotional depth, its complete lack of the themes of the original movie, as well as some absolutely atrocious CGI. Just like, look at this version of Pinocchio and tell me that looks good. And at the same time, the trailer for the 2023 live-action version of The Little Mermaid was released. And more people seem to be concerned about the fact that Ariel is black, whether or not the fact that the movie is going to be any good. But considering the track record of the previous movies, it's highly doubtful the film is going to be anything spectacular. So, here we are. Disney, a once great company, now reduced to an absolute laughingstock. Reduced to releasing soulless cash grabs piggybacking off their original films, pandering to dictatorships, and sabotaging their own movies. Will Disney get their act together, especially with movies such as Elemental releasing sometime in this year or next year, or will they continue to be the laughingstock they are today? Hopefully, the former.